Only 106 were ever made. It had no ABS, no traction control, and its engine bay was lined with gold. The McLaren F1 wasn't just fast, it was a revolution. With a top speed of 243 miles per hour, it shattered records and left competitors decades behind. Powered by a roaring 6.1-litre V12, it packed 627 horsepower into a lightweight carbon fiber chassis, making it the ultimate driving machine. And while modern supercars rely on tech to keep drivers safe, the F1 demanded pure skill, rewarding the bold and punishing the unprepared. What made this raw, untamed masterpiece the greatest car ever created? But before we get into this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss more deep dives just like this one. The McLaren F1 was born from a simple but ambitious dream to create the ultimate road car. The idea came from Gordon Murray, an engineering genius who had been poached from Brabham F1 by McLaren in 1987. After years of dominating Formula 1, McLaren wanted to channel their expertise into something that had never been done before. This vision, it came to life in 1992 when the McLaren F1 was officially unveiled to the world. It was a piece of art, an engineering marvel that redefined what a supercar could be. But what makes this car an engineering masterpiece? Gordon Murray, the genius behind the F1, had a simple but radical idea: less weight and more power. It sounds straightforward, right? But achieving that in a way that had never been done before, that was no easy task. Murray and his team at McLaren, they took inspiration from their Formula 1 expertise and threw every ounce of knowledge, technology, and precision that they had into this car. The result? A machine that was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Let's start with the F1's body. It was the first ever production car to use a carbon fiber monocoque chassis. If you're not familiar, a monocoque is a single lightweight shell that's incredibly strong. Imagine a super tough, feather-light cocoon, and you'll get the idea. Carbon fiber was already being used in Formula 1, but putting it into a road car was unheard of. It made the F1 both ridiculously light and incredibly safe. This wasn't some fragile piece of art, it was a fortress of cutting-edge engineering. And the materials? Well, they didn't stop there. Murray used titanium, magnesium, Kevlar, and even gold in the F1's construction. Yes, gold. The engine bay was lined with 16 grams of gold foil because it's one of the best heat-reflective materials on the planet. This wasn't about bling, it was about performance. The gold helped protect the carbon fiber and other components from the intense heat generated by the engine. It was function meeting form in the most luxurious way possible. Now, let's talk about that 3-seat layout. Have you ever heard of a car where the driver sits in the middle? Probably not, unless it's the F1. Murray had been dreaming of this design since he was young, and when he finally got the chance to make it a reality, he didn't hold back. The driver's seat is smack in the center, giving you a perfect view of the road and making you feel like you're piloting a jet fighter. The 2 passenger seats are slightly set behind and to the sides. It's an experience like no other, intimate, balanced, and focused entirely on the driver. But let's be real, the heart of any car is its engine, and the F1's engine is the stuff of legend. Murray initially wanted Honda to provide the power plant because of their relationship with McLaren in Formula 1, but Honda turned him down. He even approached Isuzu at one point, but that didn't work out either. Finally, he found the perfect partner in BMW's M division, and they delivered something extraordinary: a naturally aspirated 6.1-litre V12 engine that roared to life with 627 horsepower. This engine was a masterpiece of design. BMW's Paul Roche and his team built it with an aluminium alloy block and heads, a dry sump lubrication system, and variable valve timing, which was cutting edge at the time. It also used 2 fuel injectors per cylinder to maximize performance at both low and high RPMs. And let's not forget the sound. Revving this engine up to its 7,500 RPM redline, it's like hearing a symphony composed entirely of thunder and adrenaline. It's pure joy for any car enthusiast. But the real genius of the engine lies in how it delivers power. Murray insisted on keeping it naturally aspirated. No turbos, no superchargers. But why? Because he wanted complete control. Turbochargers might give you more horsepower, but they also add complexity and can create lag. With the F1's engine, what you see is what you get. It responds instantly to your inputs, making it a dream to drive. Now, Don't think for a second that all this power meant sacrificing reliability. Murray was obsessed with making the F1 a car you could actually use, not just admire. This wasn't some finicky track toy that needed constant maintenance. It was designed to be as robust as it was fast. In fact, during testing in Namibia, one of the prototypes rolled several times after hitting a rock, and the driver walked away completely unscathed. That's how strong and well designed this car was. And the aerodynamics? They're brilliant. The F1, it doesn't rely on big flashy wings or spoilers for downforce. Instead, it uses clever design elements like a flat underbody and active aerodynamics. For example, 2 electric fans underneath the car suck out air to create a ground effect, improving stability at high speeds. There's also a small rear spoiler that deploys automatically when you brake, helping to keep the car balanced. Everything about the F1's design was focused on performance, but as subtly and elegantly as possible. Of course, all this engineering wouldn't mean much if the car didn't feel incredible to drive. The F1's 6-speed manual gearbox, developed with Weissman, is buttery smooth, giving you complete control over that monstrous V12. The steering is unassisted, which might sound old-fashioned, but it means you get pure, unfiltered feedback from the road. Every bump, every turn, every ounce of grip, it's all there, right at your fingertips. Even the suspension was carefully tuned to strike the perfect balance between comfort and performance. It's not as stiff as a track car, but it's far from soft. Murray and his team wanted the F1 to be something you could take on a long road trip without breaking your back, and they nailed it. The car is as much about the journey as it is about the destination. Now, let's not forget the little details. The F1 came with custom-made luggage that fit perfectly into its storage compartments, a gold-plated titanium toolkit, and even a specially designed Kenwood sound system. And each car was tailored to its owner, with custom-fitted seats, steering, and pedals. It wasn't just a car, it was a personal statement. When the F1 was finally unveiled in Monaco in 1992, it was clear to everyone that McLaren had created something extraordinary. And while many cars since then have claimed to be the ultimate supercar, none have matched the F1's combination of innovation, performance, and timeless design. McLaren produced only 106 F1s between 1992 and 1998. Of these, 64 were road cars, while the rest were specialized versions like the track-focused GTR or prototypes. This limited production, it wasn't just a marketing gimmick, it was all about perfection. McLaren didn't want to mass-produce the F1, they wanted every single car to be a masterpiece. Today, out of those 106, 6 have been lost in accidents, leaving just 100 F1s in existence. The F1, it wasn't for everyone. It wasn't just about the price, though we'll get to that. It was all about exclusivity, a symbol of unparalleled performance. Some of the biggest names in the world lined up to own one. Rowan Atkinson, known for his role as Mr. Bean, famously owned and crashed an F1, only to have it repaired because it was that valuable. Ralph Lauren, the fashion icon, has one sitting in his collection. Elon Musk bought one in his early days before he was a household name, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, a Formula One legend himself, is also among the elite group of F1 owners. The Sultan of Brunei, known for his extravagant car collection, purchased not 1 but 7 McLaren F1s. That level of enthusiasm shows the allure this car had, even among those who could afford anything on wheels. When the McLaren F1 launched in 1992, it had a price tag of £540,000, which is roughly $1 million at the time. That was a jaw-dropping figure for the early 90s, but what you got for that money was unlike anything else. Adjusted for inflation, the F1 would cost around $2 million today. However, that figure, it doesn't even capture its current value. The F1 is now a collector's dream, with pristine examples selling for over $20 million at auction. It's not just a car, it's an investment, a piece of history that appreciates with time. From the moment the McLaren F1 hit the road, it was clear it wasn't just fast, it was untouchable. A pre-production prototype, with its rev limiter raised to 8,300 RPM, hit an average speed of 240.14 miles per hour on a two-way test. The fastest run on the same day clocked in at 243 miles per hour, a record for naturally aspirated cars that still stands. Let that sink in. 32 years later, no one has beaten this car without turbochargers or superchargers. It's a testament to the McLaren F1's engineering brilliance, a peak that modern cars, with all their advancements, still can't reach without crutches. But this car isn't just about numbers, it's about soul. But let's not forget about the quirks that added to its charm. For all its bespoke design, McLaren made a curious choice for the F1's taillights. They borrowed them from a 1987 Bova Futura bus. Yup, a bus. It's almost comical. This ultra-refined masterpiece sporting a bit of public transport flair. Yet somehow, it works. The McLaren F1 isn't just a car, it's a time capsule. It takes you back to an era when cars weren't designed by committees or governed by endless safety regulations. This, well, it was a time when engineers had the final say, and their imaginations ran wild. The result was a car so pure, so raw, it left an indelible mark on automotive history. Sure, today's supercars are faster, and they're more advanced. They'll pamper you with heated seats, autonomous modes, and enough gadgets to make your phone jealous. But they don't have the F1 soul. They don't give you that spine-tingling thrill, that primal sense of control and danger. For those lucky enough to have driven one, it's not just a car, it's everything driving should be. It's freedom, passion, and pure unfiltered joy, wrapped in carbon fiber and gold. As we wrap this up, it's clear the McLaren F1 isn't just the greatest sports car of all time, it's a legend born from ambition, crafted with precision, and remembered for its daring. It's a car that changed the game, one we might never see the likes of again, and that is what makes it so special. So, what do you think? Is the McLaren F1 the greatest car ever made? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know which car we should dive into next.